Hey guys, we're back with another video. So we know kayak fishing, when you first get into the tournament series, can be pretty daunting and a little nerve-wracking when you initially get into it. I know I was pretty nervous. I was still scouring the internet all over the place on what I needed, what I should be doing, just to make sure that I was prepared. So what I'm going to do in this video is basically cover some essential items that you should need in order to compete in a kayak fishing tournament. First and foremost, this one is pretty obvious, but you do need a PFD. It's absolutely mandatory that you have one of these on you at all times. It's if you're in any kayak fishing series, they do require it. You can either do a type 3 or a type 2. I personally use a type 3 because obviously it was a bit cheaper, but if you fall in the water and become unconscious, you float on your back, keeps your head up, versus some of the type 2s definitely don't do that as well. Next one we're going to talk about is a paddle. Some people do not carry a paddle while they're out in the water because they have a pedal drive, but guess what? Sometimes that pedal drive fails. You do not want to be stranded out in the middle of the water, especially if it's windy, if you do not have a paddle. I personally use this Weiner paddle. I bought it a while back. This is it right here. I keep it strapped to my Old Town. It works very well, gets me around. There's been a couple cases where my pedal drive is either failed, not completely failed, but it gets skunked up and I can't use it, or I'm going super shallow and I need to paddle around a little bit. With my motor, for instance, if I'm going shallow and it's super weedy, I will use my paddle over the motor any day. Just pull the motor up and I'm good to go. The next one is probably pretty obvious, but you do need a catch board, or they also came out with the Yak Attack leaderboard, which is actually really nice. I do use both. I like the catch because it is a lot more slimmer. At least this carbonite one is. The leaderboard's also really nice because it floats. Right now, because I have so much stuff on my kayak, I prefer the slimmer one. But when I get a bigger kayak, definitely probably start using the leaderboard. Just purely because that mirror, it's really nice. The fish are able to sit in a lot easier. And it floats. I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm on a tournament day and I drop a catch board into the water, because I don't like using tethers. This next one might be one that you probably wouldn't consider, actually. I ended up grabbing a NRS knife that I can put right on my life jacket. This can save your life at the end of the day. If you ever become tangled up in anything that dangles off your kayak in the water, if you have this on your life vest and you need to cut it off or cut it away, you have this right there ready for you. I have heard stories where people have fallen in, got tangled up in a bunch of tethers, and they had to cut their way out while underwater. You never want to be in that position. So I always carry that knife. This can also apply to, who knows, maybe you fall in, there's some kind of braid or something in the water, or it's really thick grass it's not letting you stay buoyant with your PFD. Always, just in case, that knife is 100% worth the money. It's super cheap investment to just attach to your kayak or have on you. The next one I'm going over is 360 flag. I personally use the Yak Attack one right now. It is great. Does its job more or less, makes you visible on the water. That 360 lift gives off some light, especially if it's dark out. It is mandatory in majority of kayak fishing clubs, so it's an absolute purchase for you. You need to have. Also, Railblaza makes a really nice one as well. I would check out that one first versus the Yak Attack one. The Railblaza one is really bright, and if it's pitch black or dark when you're launching, it would be worth it to get the way brighter one, because the Yak Attack light, in my personal opinion, is not as bright as it should be. It's pretty dim for the most part. I will probably be purchasing one of those soon or for the next season, so I have a brighter setup. The next one I think should be super obvious as well. You should always, if you have anything mechanical or moving on your kayak that needs to be tightened down or anything, or could go wrong, bring a toolbox on your kayak. Screwdrivers, Allen keys, just do it, because you never want to be on the water on tournament day with stuff breaking down and you not having any tools to help resolve them. Control what you can control on your tournament day. You don't want any loose variables that you didn't oversee, because tournament day is a little stressful as it is if you want to place well. Next one is a net. Absolutely need a net, in my opinion, because if you don't, you probably will lose fish. I personally use the Yak Attack. Works great. Attach it to my arm. Folds in half. Creates less space that you have to use on it. Highly recommend purchasing one of those. It's probably like 80 bucks. You get it right out of the way. You'll be pretty happy with that. Last but not least, I am strongly recommending a donkey leash. You do not want to be in the way of everybody on the boat launch. If you're at the boat launch and there's stocks to tie to, just bring your kayak out, tether it down. I use the donkey leash personally. It's just this thing. It's attached to my chair. Has a little clip. You can tie that down, and then your kayak doesn't float away, and you're also not in the way annoying people. I definitely was always in the way when I first started fishing like this, but not anymore. I grew up and learned. So definitely check that out, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions or have any more additional information you want to add to the video, feel free to comment below. And thanks for liking and subscribing. Peace.